actually, I'm not gonna read that, but the compassion fatigue is the condition that precedes burnout. It is not, there is literature there, and I was glad to be able to add to the research literature. Not a lot of people talk about compassion fatigue, but a lot of people talk about burnout. Be honest with your leadership. Be honest with your supervisor about your wellness. Sometimes I know I've had a difficult supervisor, and there's still ways to say, I'm not well, and this is what I need to be productive. I'd like to be able to push this out, but my best work is when I feel well. And as social workers, we advocate for everybody else. Who advocating for you?
Therapists need therapists as well. Sometimes take care of your mental health, and sometimes you definitely need to get in a quiet space. Absolutely.
Yes.
However, sometimes you need somebody to kind of help you process all the stuff that you are enduring on a regular basis.
A lot of social workers have trauma in their own personal life, and it's really important when you're doing social work to recognize that, because it could transfer onto your clients. So this self-care that's talked about a lot is so important. I wish I would have had it when I had my first master's in counseling, but it's very important to take care of yourself and be aware of your own stuff so you don't bring it into the client's life.
I ask you guys to really, really be intentional about your self-care. Dr. Shorty talked about leadership, but we all are leaders. If you went to school to be a social worker, you was trained to be a leader. We're not trained to be followers. Sorry, you in the wrong field. We are trained to be leaders, so we all are leaders. So I don't want you to disregard what she was saying about leaders. We all are leaders, and we need to take that on. And I know that we have a building full of social workers, but there are some non-social workers too. It's all applicable.
I think social work is empowering people to live their best life. And exactly, I mean, in different words, but just empowering people, because a lot of people go through things, and we talked about trauma and different things that happen in our lives, and sometimes that blocks a person from moving forward. Sometimes they get stuck. And I think a social work, what social work does is it gives the people the tools and the empowerment and that push to get over what they're dealing with in that moment, and to help them to see a brighter world, a brighter future for themselves.
So one of the first classes we had at Midlands Tech, and I promise you at that point I did not see the benefit of it, but we had to journal. And we had to journal, it felt like every day. We had to just journal and journal and journal. And at that moment, we were like, Miss Ergwal's tired of journaling. But it actually helped in a sense, because we were actually writing out our own issues and kind of handling our stuff before we were able to help somebody else. So we were actually helping ourselves, and we were like, well, I hated it then, but now I am so grateful for that. Because I was able to deal with some of my past traumas just through journaling and being able to at least identify what those traumas were. Because sometimes you just don't know.
That's right.
And also with that, it helps you understand your biases. Because we all have them. And it helped me identify, I may not be comfortable working with this population, maybe because of some past trauma. And so it was very beneficial.
I remember, for those that went to USC, I think it's Micah Tone, right?
Oh,
yeah, so in the capstone class, I remember it was one thing, it was like a group class, a group project. And one of my classmates actually suggested, and it really stuck with me, that we should not bring work into our living space. And so for me, I never brought work home. We as social workers and just individuals in society, we have a lot of skills, and we can share that, and we don't have to do everything alone. So I have actually recently hired 6 contractors to come in and to help me. And so that is something that I've done to just relieve that burnout and that stress. And so I can continue to focus on those goals. And so I say to you, if you're feeling, that stress and that burnout, it's okay, but sometimes we have to ask for help.
When you are one of those people that you feel things and you're sensitive, I'm ultra sensitive to things, okay? And I love people, but sometimes it would frustrate me to see clients like you put every resource right there in front of them. I mean, I'm talking every resource, like I got this for you, I got that for you, you gotta talk to this person, you gotta do this. And at the end of the day, they'd be like, nah man, I'm not interested. Or better yet, they just wouldn't even show up. And you'd be calling and calling and calling. And it gets you like really low. It makes you feel low, like you've done all of these things and I did all this to try to help this person. But you really do have to have a mental reset. It's not about what I can do for that person. It really is not. I'm just giving them the resource. They have to take the lead with it. That was very hard for me to do because I was like, look, I can get you this, I can get these things for you, I can get you rocking and rolling, you can balance your life out. But the truth is I needed to balance my life out before I started giving advice to other people. So I try to be more cognizant of being self-aware that what I think may be intentionality to help that person may actually not really be the right thing for them.